Last night's win over the Milwaukee Bucks, while the Butler and the Chef continued their run, was actually rookie Quinten Post's hot hand that helped put the game away. His shooting confidence, playmaking ability, and floor spacing have made him a really great fit and maybe a fixture in the starting lineup. But is it sustainable? Let's review. So Post only played 15 minutes last night, but his impact on the floor spacing has been immediately notable, especially with the defensive pull of Steph and now Jimmy Butler. As we've covered in our film session about Jimmy's first games, one of the advantages of the Warriors now with a secondary scoring threat like Jimmy Butler is his ability to collapse the defense and draw weak side help. Note that Steph is not on the floor in this possession. He's not in this lineup, but Jimmy is still able to draw the help of both Bobby Portis and Gary Trent Jr. And as we've covered before, collapsing defenses by getting into the interior, as Jimmy does, usually forces a defense in rotation. And if we take a moment and think about this lineup, the Warriors have one, two, and three reliable three-point shooters spacing the floor, which makes these swing passes force more rotations. And note that with Quinten Post's shooting threat as a stretch five spaced out in this corner, the Warriors can trot out lineups without Steph that still have secondary scoring threats in Jimmy Butler and two or three threatening shooters. In this case, it's a swing to Pajemski, a swing to Buddy, and then a swing to Post, which gets a too late rotation from both Bobby Portis and Gary Trent Jr. as he splashes that three. Here, the Warriors are looking for a good switch for Steph. The Bucks have been switching for a lot of this game, and the Warriors know that. They're looking for Steph to ultimately try and get Brook Lopez on him, which requires first Post to set this high ball screen, which gets Kuzma onto Steph and switches Trent onto Quinten Post. Once they do that, Quinten Post is going to dive deep into the paint and pick up Brook Lopez. Draymond is going to get Gary Trent, but then you can see that Draymond is going to motion with his arm for Quinten Post to go set another screen to ultimately get the switch that they want. But actually, what ends up happening here is that Kuzma stays attached and Brook Lopez stays attached. The advantage in this case is that with Post's shooting threat, Lopez has got to stay attached to him, which leaves Kuzma on an island with Steph. I think you can all imagine that if this was maybe TJD or Kevon Looney, that this likely would have been a double team, which would have then led to TJD or Looney rolling here and Steph being forced to make some sort of pocket pass on this roll. But because it's Post, Kuzma's on an island, and Steph drains that shot. And I think these types of coverages and situations are much more likely with Post floor spacing. Now, an important aspect of becoming a shooting threat, aside from making your threes, is displaying the willingness to let your shots fly quickly, even with perimeter closeouts. Look how willing Post is to shoot in transition, along with a little sidestep for good measure, as Torian Prince goes to the side. I think it's one thing to have defenses respect your ability to shoot, but it's another thing entirely if defenders are scrambling in rotation or in closeouts to stop you from shooting. And I think one way to gain this respect is just by letting it fly, as Quinten Post does immediately here. That's what he did last night in a tight fourth quarter game. And to me, his audacity as a three-point shooter is something the Warriors haven't seen from a stretch 4 or 5 in a long time, and something that he'll only develop more as he continues to get minutes. So, is Quinten Post for real? I think so. Let us know if you agree. Thanks for watching.